Hello everyone, and welcome back to Feed the Southpaw. This is episode 2, and we're here outside Glutstein, our main capital city. And today, so the first episode we went through the world, we gave you a world tour, we looked at the factories, the infrastructure, and the rail, and all the different buildings, but today we're going to be focusing on one factory, and that is the Luminaire factory, the factory that will produce the many different lights for our world. But first, I'd like to show you the southern end of the city of Glutstein, and this was actually made by Joshua here on our server. He's actually on right now. His name is Phantom Armor. So we have a fairly good sized town, population 10, as you can see, around 10. But I want to show you just what's going on the south side. So this is really new. Now if I'll turn to the right here, you'll see this watchtower that Joshua built, and a bridge that goes over this small river and has some very nice supports. And you can see more of the fences there, very nice, which then leads into the bog biome to the south. And you can see if I go down here, you'll see the bog biome right here. So this is the new southern watchtower built by Joshua. So let's go inside this and get a look inside. Get a look atop this too. The South Yeshua Watchtower. So as I go up here, I wanted to explain what will happen in the continuing series. So Joshua and Aaron here on this server, they want to, after building some things here on in Glutstein, they want to go out into the world, go out across the bog biome, go south, where they will eventually end up here on the Lone Sheep Plateau. And this area right here is a mountain biome with some spruce trees, some eucalyptus trees, sitting right next to a dense forest. And they want to start a city here, and I'll leave that for them to explain, but we're eventually going to connect these two cities, Glutstein and their new city. They claim that they want to make a bunch of rubber too, and they say they want to make rubber duckies and teddy bears, even though you can't make that in the game, but they like to think so anyways. So right here, we'll go up here to the top. So the goal in this series is just really expanding our infrastructure, expanding the city, and once we finish Glutstein and fill out this area, we're going to be moving to another town, most likely, and other projects. Perhaps we'll make a town up here in the flower fields. We'll see, but let's go to bed since Joshua wants to sleep. Oh, hold on. Say hello to the peeps. So let's go back down. So actually, well, let's take a look at this. So you can see the southern side of the city. It's not very developed, so over time we want to fill in these lots right here that are marked out with the tin and copper blocks. This here will be a south riverside development, which might be turned into a park. We'll see. There is the Capitol Park already in the south, or that's in the center actually, just west of the Capitol right here, which connects then to the cathedral. But right now we're going to go down the stairs and we will go over to that right there, which is the Luminaire factory. So let's get over there and I'll explain what's going on. We're actually just going to do this. We're going to cheat and go through the window. So as you can see, welcome to Glutstein. Enjoy your stay. So Joshua made this path here, and then we recently added this wall that I talked about in the last episode, and we are now in Glutstein. So why would I want to make a factory for lights? Well, there's many different lights in this game, from fixtures to lanterns to fallout shelter lights to cage lamps and even these block lamps, which are very cool. And each one has 16 variants because there are 16 different types of dye in the game. So we will be focusing on this one this episode. Let me turn down the render distance more. So let's step inside here. I'm going to show you what's going on inside here and what I've done so far. And then after that, I will work on finishing it up. So when you step inside here, you'll see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different assembly lines, each with their own unique chest for input and their own unique iron chest for output. If you want to know, an iron chest stores a little bit more than a regular chest, and it's made from 8 iron surrounding 1 wooden chest in the crafting table. So each assembly line is outfitted with their own furnaces, auto workbenches which craft the items automatically, and then the diamond pipes which filter the items depending on the direction. So if I wanted to, let's say, filter dirt in the blue direction, I simply right-click on the blue direction there with the item, and it filters that. Now let's say I don't want any other item going to the white, because we can do stuff like this and put it there, put a crafting bench there, or something that you would never see in the pipeline. So let me first explain how this gets power. So let's do that really quick. So each one of these furnaces is used to smelt the stone, which turns it into what's called circuit plates, and the sand, which is used for glass. And these two items are very common in the different types of lamps. Now they need power, the electric furnaces do. So you can see here, this is a copper cable, and the copper cable holds 128 EU per tick. Now to put that in perspective, a high voltage cable holds 2048 EU per tick. So there's different tiers. If I search cable, you'll see the different tiers right here, and each one tells you. Now the difference between insulated and non-insulated is twofold. First, there tends to be more energy loss across longer distances if it's not insulated with rubber. Second, if it's not insulated and the voltage is high, incredibly high actually, it can shock you and even kill you if it's bad enough. So make sure you insulate your cables, folks. Now this cable is not insulated because it travels a short distance and it's pretty low voltage, so it's not going to hurt us. Now let's see. So this cable goes down here, and down here I will show you what's going on in the power room. Now this isn't done yet, but it's just the bare bones connecting each of the furnaces together. And right here are basically batteries, or just a storage system for the energy. So it acts as a buffer. So it stores up 300,000 EU per tick, or EU. It's called a CESU. And there's 3 of these. And the geothermal generators pump the electricity all the way to here. And if I take out the, if I take out the dirt here, you'll see that there is a high voltage cable which connects up to a high voltage transformer. If we look at this, you see the input. The input is 1536 EU per tick. Okay, so that's what's coming in. What's coming out after it's been transformed and stepped down is 512 EU per tick. Then we'll go down here to the medium voltage transformer and see that it goes down even further. So we have the 512 from before, and then it goes to the 128 EU per tick, which is low voltage copper. So then the copper cable comes through here and connects to the CESUs. And from there, it's used as a buffer to make sure that the energy isn't drained really fast. So if there's a lot of stuff going on with the electric furnaces up here, the CESUs will provide a good buffer and good storage. This will be lined with some nice blocks and made to look very pretty inside. So let's go through exactly what it takes to first build one of these assembly lines so you can see how it works, because I don't want you to just watch me fill out these filters with the correct item. I want you to understand completely how this thing works so you can build it yourself as well. So let me first go to the light type, and we're going to look up one of my favorite lights, and that is the lantern, which you've seen across the city, I'm sure. So we'll type in lantern. Now for all these lights there's two different types, really. The non-lit version and the lit version. The lit version has a redstone torch, and the unlit version requires a redstone signal to turn on. So you can see how that can be useful, but I mostly use the ones that are just always lit, which are called inverted white lanterns. So we're going to click on a white lantern and we're going to see how it's made. And once we see how it's made, we can take notes for knowing what machines we need for the assembly line to create one of these. So we open it up here and we see this crafting recipe. Now, choose whatever you want first, but we'll choose the circuit plate and see how that's made. Okay, so it says smelting. So it's stone in a furnace makes 2 circuit plates. Okay, so that means we need one furnace. That's what we know so far. We need 1 furnace in our assembly line. The next one, let's do glass pane. Okay, so glass. Now it says it needs to be crafted into glass panes. This means we need 1 auto workbench for this recipe in our assembly line. If we go further, we see that glass requires sand, obviously, so that means we also need a second furnace to do the sand to glass. We'll go back back to the recipe, and we'll look at the next one, which is the Luminaire. And the Luminaire uses glowstone dust and a white dye or bone meal. And this would require a auto workbench as well. So we have 1 auto workbench, a second auto workbench, and there's 2 so far. We're going to click on the redstone torch. Requires this, so that means we need 3 auto workbenches. And then finally, we need a 4th auto workbench to craft this. Okay, this is just a gold coin or gold nugget, which we can easily craft on our own. We don't need an assembly line to necessarily do that. So that means we need 4 auto workbenches, 2 furnaces to do this, which is exactly what we have right here. So let me show you and run through. I have marked each of the machines to show you what it makes. And let me give you an example. So we put in stone into the chest here, pumps it out using the wooden pipe, and then the iron pipe directs it down. Now if I take out my wrench here, this is just a simple wrench made from a stone gear and 3 iron. And this is important for buildcraft pipes. So watch what happens when I right click on the opaque part of the iron pipe. Changes direction, okay? And this is very important. Iron pipes will direct the items. You use the wrench to specify the direction. So the stone will pump out through here, go down into the system. And I want to specify the stone to go through the white, to go up. So I will set a stone block there. And once that's set, the items will go up into the machine and become circuit plates. Now the next key point is the circuit plates will be pumped out on this top wooden pipe, and this is the key. This is the key for the entire system, and this is how each of the assembly lines works. Once the circuit plates go up, it will go left, and it will go back down to the bottom part of the system. The bottom part is for input, the top part is for output. So it circles back. And this process of circling back goes all the way to the final crafting item, where it goes up, and it has to also circle back to the final recipe. So, circuit plates go up, they go down, and then they'll go all the way to the final recipe at inverted lantern, where I'll specify a circuit plate in this white direction to be eventually crafted, as you see here. So that's how that works. And it's pretty simple. It really is pretty simple. Now the one thing that is kind of hard is what I'm about to show you with the autarkic gates. And these are spelled this way if you want to look that up. Autarkic. And it's the basic gate that you need, the very first one there. This is a little more this is perhaps the most complicated part of this whole process. So let me go into the Fagus factory here. And what's going on here, there are 2 different machines that produce the basic gate used for pumping the items out. The first one is called an assembly table. Now this looks kind of complex at first, I know, but it's not that hard. All you really need is, let's see here. Yeah. Let's put this back. Okay, there is a recipe for the gate that you saw that disappeared. It uses some iron, redstone. You make these redstone chipsets through the red pipe wire, I believe. But if you look up assembly table on the ftbwiki.org, you'll see how this is made. Actually, I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to show you how it's made, because I want you to see this. Alright, so I figured out exactly how it's made. It's very simple. You simply put redstone in this assembly table, and you make your redstone chipset. And then the redstone chipset, once you put it back in the assembly table, is used to make what's called the basic gate. Now once you make a basic gate, actually you can see these lasers working. These are called lasers. They are used to create the circuitry. And they have to be powered. As you can see, they're powered right here with the golden kinesis pipes. So they're powered, making these chipsets. Now, that's step one. Step two is to make it pulse. See how it's pulsing like that? Well, the basic gate needs a pulsating chipset, and it's a green thing, a green little circuit. Now this is made from ender pearls. So you need ender pearls, and I think you need either redstone or iron in this assembly table. You can make a pulsating chipset. Once you have that, once you have the basic gate and the pulsating chipset, you come into what's called an integration table. You put the pulsating chipset there with the basic gate in the center, and you get the what's called the autarchic pulsar basic gate. And see, we have 24 ready for us right there already. And once this goes up to the top, it will be done, and it will make one. So there's that. And with these, we can then pump the items out automatically. Now you can use what's called redstone engines, but they take up a full block. And the nice thing about these is that they're integrated directly into the pipe system. So I put one there. I'm not going to set it yet because there's stuff here that I'm storing. But I am going to set it for this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this, and this one. And we're going to test this out. So we want the items to be pumped out. We're going to say, you just left click or right click. We're going to say that if there's items in the inventory, we want to send an energy pulse. This will pump the items out for us when they're done. And we have to do that for each of these. So it can be a little tedious, a lot of clicking, right? You gotta kind of remember how many times. Oh, Joshua, no. He was slain by a mighty spider. That's bad. Oh. Must have been pretty mighty. Wow. Yikes. You can see he's building an observatory right there. Let's see if he wants to sleep. Or help. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's almost daytime anyways. Let's check on Joshua for a second. Okay, let's just make sure he's not about to lose his mind from all that abuse. He's a sensitive soul. Not as sensitive as Brayden, though. Brayden's very sensitive. Yeah, I'm gonna go help this guy out. There you go. Here's your treasure, sir. And this and that. It's a lot of spiders. Okay, let's head back to the Luminaire factory and we will continue. So, I think we have this done now. The gates. Yes, we do. Okay, the next step is to fill out these diamond pipes right here with the correct filters. So, let's see what we need here. We need glowstone, stone, sand, sticks, redstone, gold coins, and dye. Okay. Glowstone, stone. Okay, we can do that. Alright, now we will see exactly what's going on here. So we gotta filter this first. So let's first make the stone required for this. And I'm going to break this right here. And it will fly out. Because what we want to do is, let me take this, cover this up. What we want to do is just get the circuit plate. So let's put that in here. So we'll define stone as white. And you can watch this happen. So let's define the gate. Items in inventory, energy pulsar. Easy. Let's send 2 in there. It'll pump out now, and it'll go down. Very cool, very cool. It's kind of cute. Okay, it's gonna go up to the white. There you go. Now let's watch what happens. It's working. It's gonna make circuit plates now. These are gonna get pumped out and they're gonna just fly because there's no... Oh wait, nope, they got pumped that way. That's right, okay. Well, let's break this. And now they'll fly out. Very nice. Put that up there and get the wrench again and redirect that in the correct direction. Oops, that was not the wrench. Okay. They're back there. There we go. Alright, and we'll wrench this, and it's good as new. So we have the circuit plates. Now let's define where the circuit plates go. They're over here, so we'll put them on white there, right there. Okay, now let's make some glass. So we'll go here and make some glass. And we will break this one. Now sandstone pipes, as you can see, do not connect to other blocks. They only connect to other pipes, which is really useful for making systems that's not good. You can see, there we go. Okay, got the glass. Let's put this pipe back. I just thought I could just define these gates to not pump right now. That would be smart. Okay. That would be much smarter, actually. Let's put this glass over here. Actually, we gotta make glass panes, so we need to put some more glass in there. Let's do 5 more. Make some panes. And we will define it to not do that. you can see, it's a pretty simple process. Now, watch what happens here. This is pretty cool. Auto workbenches are pretty sick nasty if I do say so for myself. If I do say so myself. Okay, let's put it in here and see what happens. There you go. We'll set it here, and you can see it's now making the panes. And we'll set this to that right there. We'll reset this one. That one's set. It's making the panes. And we will define the panes over here because they need to come over here for the final recipe. Now we also need to define sand, so we'll put that up there for sand. We also need to define glass, and we lost all our glass, so we're going to do with that again. There we go. Okay, we'll set that back. So now we need to define glass right here, because this input requires glass. Alright, so we got that. We'll put the glass up there. Let's go ahead and get rid of our sand, since we don't need it. And let's also go get rid of our circuit plates by putting that there. This will go around, down, back into the system. So we got that. Well, let's see what's next. Redstone torch. So we need sticks and redstone. Well, we got that. Let's put that up there in white. Okay, now we need a redstone torch to be defined in the final crafting recipe over here. Now we need glowstone dust and the dye, so let's get the glowstone dust up here for the input and the dye. I do need to define other dyes eventually. So that in that case, if you want to do other dyes, you can just put in like a blue or a red into here and it will make a blue or red dye. What happened here? Oh, it's not defined yet. That's why. See, they'll just pop out if they're not defined. The glass should go in here because it's already defined. The circuit plates will not. See the glass going up. The circuit plates should now be in there, which they are, so that's nice. This is only pulsating because it sees there's items in the inventory, this inventory, but there's nothing to pump out yet. See, it's very nice, circulating back. So we have this defined. We have this defined. What's left? We actually need to craft the luminaire ourselves. We need that as one of the final items in the recipe. Now if we check the recipe again, let's double check we'll have everything. We have the circuit plates, we have the glass panes, we have the luminaire, and we have the redstone torch. We just need the gold nugget or gold coin. There we go. The luminaire goes in the center, the redstone torch goes in the bottom, the coin goes in the top, and the panes go on the side. And you have your first automated lantern. So I'm going to put the redstone here and the sticks here, and we're going to make a redstone torch. And then that will go down into here, back in the system. And let's define this to pump. Now it's pumping. So I pumped all those glass panes out and put them nicely over here. And that's that. That's actually done, I think. And as you can see, we're out of redstone torches, but we're making redstone torches. And they're being pumped out too. It's a lot of glass. So let's see if the glass panes are working right. Yep, it looks like it's working fine. So we're missing the luminaire and that. So let's put the luminaire in there. That's what I meant to do. Let's put that right here. Now, if you want a different dye, you're going to have to come in here manually, right-click on this auto workbench, and set the dye to what you want. And I also need to remember to define some of the other dyes. You only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only have 9 slots for each of the filters, but yep. So once you have it defined, once you have it in the auto workbench, defined in the crafting recipe, the items will start filling in themselves, especially, and then also when you have it filtered. So if those two conditions are met, they will go up exactly where you want them to go. Now if I wanted to increase the efficiency of this system, I mean, my first thought would be to make multiple. So we have multiple stacked ones, you have multiple in rows, and you have like the same thing. So and maybe you connect it with one chest where it spreads the items out evenly across the different assembly lines, and then you produce more lamps quicker. But I'd say this is pretty good, especially over time. It's just once in a while you come over here, you put in some stacks of these items, and then you go on your merry way. And you come back and you have a bunch of lamps made. So now, this should start crafting. Because it got the Illumar. Very nice. So it just takes 1 Illumar, which is made from two glowstone dust and 2 bone meal. We already have 2 of these, and we'll take them out. And for our commemorative, we will put 1 here and 1 here. Very nice. So this process will continue for all of these. The inverted lamp, the inverted cage lamp, fixture, which is perhaps, actually this is the most complicated one, which is the fallout light. The fallout light takes glowstone, sand, iron, stone, redstone, stick, dyes, and gold. Fallout light is pretty cool. It's one of these, and they're great for like bomb shelters. And then if I type in lamp, you'll see these block lamps, and you saw that at the abstract version of a lighthouse that I showed in the first episode. You also have the inverted cage lamps, which are incredibly cool, especially for underground tunnels. There's even a red version, and a really, really nice blue one. These are really, really nice. Very nice. And then you have what's called fixtures, which can be placed on walls, on ceilings, on any surface, really. Most surfaces. They're very useful, especially for interior. So let's check on this. Look guys, we're already at 8. We're already at 8. So if we put in, if you just imagine putting in a few stacks of the base materials, in no time you'll get a few stacks of these, and even more. So it's very easy. Just the key is the diamond pipes, which I'll show you how to make those. It's very easy. But in fact, let's just type in transport pipe and let's see what happens. So the diamond pipes are right here. It says they sort items. Very easy, see? And you also get 8 of them. And there's wooden pipes, which is the same premise. They're used for extraction. And any type of wood with glass. The other one we use is iron, and you can, that's clay. There's iron. So you can see, very simple, very straightforward, and then there's the sandstone. And then the autarchic gates use an assembly table and an integration table with lasers. And then that is pretty much it. Pretty much it. It's a very simple process. So, I will continue filling out the rest of these filters. You guys don't need to watch that. But it's pretty simple. The pattern continues. It just depends on the recipe. And once again, you just look in the recipe, figure out how many unique crafting steps you need and what machine you need to do some of the smelting. And that's all there is to it, really. The idle workbenches do not need power, only the electric machines do, which is pretty handy. So, as you remember from the last episode, I have a solar panel factory, and this is more complicated because it just takes more machines like metal formers, but the process is exactly the same, including the diamond pipes, the gates, everything. It's just more. But it's been going well too, and yeah, that is it for today on the Luminaire factory. And by the next episode, I will have the filters done, and this building will be done, including the power room downstairs. So, before I go, I'd like to leave you with some final words on the next episode. If you remember from last episode, you may have seen a building here, and this was a tall office tower designed by Christian Frank. However, he allowed me to take it down because we need more space for factories. In fact, we need more factories for circuitry, for machines. Let me show you really quick just how many machines there are in this mod pack in terms of the industrial craft mod. So we'll come down here, and the really important ones can be like the furnace, the macerator, the extractor, the compressor, the fluid solid canning machine, which is used to make overclockers, which speeds machines up, and other things like the battery, the bat box, the CESU, the MFE, which store different amounts of EU. If we scroll down further, you'll see that there's different tools and drills. Everything from a diamond drill to chainsaws and wrenches, mining lasers, which are pretty impressive, I must say. And then there's tree taps for getting the resin from the rubber trees. There's nano sabers, there's a lot of stuff. So I'll be making those in factories as well. And including those, there's also an important, very important item, perhaps one of the most important items in the game. Jeez, can't even remember what it's called. I know it's circuitry, but this guy, electronic circuit. This is perhaps one of the most important items in the game because it's the foundation for all the machines and the electronics. I want to make a factory for this too, and it just requires insulated copper cables with rubber, iron plates, and redstone. And if I mass produce those, we'll be in a good situation too. It'll be very good. So for next episode, I'll be working on a few more factories here on this lot, and we will be mass producing different machines, different tools, and different amounts of circuitry. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you learned something new about the assembly line, and hopefully you can make one yourself too if you're interested. It's very simple. So if you have any questions, just comment below. And before we leave, let's just check out what Joshua's been doing. He's building an observatory. I don't know exactly what it will look like, but he is planning out the space over here. We do have a test to study for tomorrow morning. It's our Arc Science 2 test about the physics of sound, so that'll be interesting. And then eventually we'll have a test over luminaires and lighting, so very nice. He's trying. His face is very... Ooh, ouch. Let's see what he says. Stay in drugs and don't do school, kids. That's great advice. Great advice from Joshua. He is a role model, that is for sure. What a role model. So with that, that great message. I will leave you guys for the next one. Hope you enjoyed.